What's up guys, my name is Spartan, and this is episode 7 of the Beginner Progress series. This is a series that I wanted to start, basically with the intention of sharing my experience of playing this game for over a year and a half with you guys on a brand new account. Guys, this is Spartan Jr. If you're new to the series, I highly encourage you to go back to episode 1. The link to the entire playlist will be found in the video description. Basically, I've been playing this game for over a year and kind of just feel like there's not really a whole lot of beginner content available for the newer players of the game. And for that reason, I wanted to take a brand new account and basically show you guys exactly what I'm upgrading, what I'm working on in terms of cards, modules, labs, etc. So in addition to this Beginner Progress series, I also do 2 live streams a week. And in those live streams, I do go through my actual tournament stream for the baby account. So if you're interested in seeing that, I stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I go through my main account first, and then I do the beginner account after that. So yeah. But with that being said, if you find this series enjoyable, if you enjoy it, please consider subscribing to the channel, dropping a kind comment in the comments below, and liking the video. It really does help me out with kind of spreading this series out. And that's my main goal with this beginner account series. I want it to be able to be seen by these new players. But anyway, with that, let's go ahead and dive into the contents of today's episode. Starting with the stats page. So we are at 38.4 billion lifetime coins. Obviously, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, if you guys are new and this is the first episode you're seeing, we are basically free to play, with an exception of 3 packs. We went ahead and picked up these 3 starting packs right here. The Starter, Epic, and Disable Ads. But in terms of every other thing you can buy in the game, we are not doing it. We're not going to get the gems, we're not going to get the milestone packs, we're not getting anything. We are certainly not getting stone packs. But if you guys are watching this and you do want to buy some of this stuff, even if it's as simple as like the Disable Ads pack, please consider using my content creator code. And what using my content creator code basically does is it gives me a small cut off the top at no extra cost to you. So if you want a way to support me at no extra cost to you, and you were planning on already buying stuff for the game anyway, the creator code is a perfect way that you can do that. If you do buy stuff with my creator code, feel free to leave a comment or hit me up on Discord. I have no way to actually know who uses my code, so I really do appreciate it when people let me know so that way I can basically thank them. But yeah, back to the stats page, things have been going pretty good. Like I said, we're just shy of 1,000 stones. It is very, very difficult to get stones as free to play, so we are finding. But in terms of milestones, we did get the 4,500 milestone on tier 2, so that was very exciting. We've still, for the most part, just been farming tier 1, and the main reason for that is simply because I don't quite survive long enough consistently to make the jump to tier 2. I'll show you guys kind of what the runs have been looking like. I actually tried to do a few tier 3 runs, and you can see the first run I did was 4,072 waves, which is not terrible. I mean, the coins per hour was definitely way better than my coins per hour on tier 1. The cells, if you look at these cells, the cells is really the bread and butter. I'm getting so many more cells on tier 1. So for that reason, I'm going to stay in tier 1 until I can pretty much consistently get about at least 4,500 waves on tier 3. But likely, I would like to wait until I can maybe get around 6,000 waves. That would be more ideal for me. But yeah, you can see my tier 1 farming has been a lot more consistent. I'm getting around, on average, 65, 7,000 waves on tier 1. And it's been semi-consistent. Some of these runs where I do die kind of quickly likely would have been a night run. That's just my guess. Because obviously during a night run, I'm not able to, filter through my perks, I'm not able to upgrade stuff, so I would assume that that is probably a night run right there. But these other runs obviously seem a lot more consistent. And the main reason that I'm actually doing that, I did post a video kind of explaining the coin multipliers and how to actually navigate these and increase these and frankly just optimize these. But the coin multiplier, the coin bonuses are super important. And the reason that they're important is not actually so that you can jump to a really, really high tier where you have a higher multiplier, but rather you get the most out of this multiplier number when you actually achieve the maximum spawn rate. The maximum spawn rate can be found in the wave info. You can see the active enemies down here. It says the current max spawn rate is 10. So that number gradually throughout the run will eventually get up to 56. Once it achieves 56, that tells you that you have hit the maximum spawn rate. Likewise, you want to pay attention to the spawn chance of the elite enemies. These elite enemies give you the cells, and they're super, super important. So at a bare minimum, you want to try to farm past where this number here, instead of 0, says 33%. That effectively means you have a 100% chance of getting one of each of these enemies each time. You may get one vampire one wave, and then you may get one scatter the next wave. If you want bonus points, you can wait and farm a tier that you can basically get the 100% spawn chance. That may be a little bit challenging if you're still in tier 1 like I am, but a good goal to strive for is just simply getting the 33% on each of these, because that will guarantee that each wave you will have one elite to be any of these. But yeah, the active enemies and the spawn rate is super, super important because, like I mentioned, it doesn't matter how good your coin multiplier is if you're not getting enough enemies to really benefit from it. So for that reason, that's why I will generally say try to find a tier that you can pretty much get to the maximum spawn rate cap of 56 enemies. And also, like I did mention, we got the tier 2 4500 milestone, which I believe is one of this one? Yeah, right here. Increase lab speed by 1.5%. This is fantastic. Increasing lab speed is actually super, super valuable. It gives you a currency that nobody really talks about in this game, and that is actually time. Time is a super, super valuable currency. But that's actually going to cover it for the stats page and the milestones. My next goal obviously is going to be the tier 3 milestone, but we'll get there when we get there. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about the workshop. So the workshop is a little bit different. Like I mentioned in the last video, have slowly been working on building up my damage until I could basically get everything maxed. And that has now happened. I'm able to get all of this base stuff maxed. So for that reason, I went ahead in the attack tree and unlocked Super Crit, so that I can also utilize this added damage benefit during the run to get basically more lifesteal. That's kind of what it ends up coming down to, is more lifesteal, which is fantastic. So I went ahead and did that. Obviously, my plan currently is to continue to kind of work on damage, build up my damage a little bit more, maybe get it to like 1500, and then just focus on EHP after that. Moving on to the defense upgrades, you can see we still do not have the unlock landmine upgrades. We just haven't done it yet. And the reason for that, again, comes down to I need my free upgrades to be going towards this stuff. All of my survivability. This is super, super important. Once I get my health probably up to like 2,000, that may be a good time to go ahead and unlock these, just so that I can kind of utilize some of the utility from them. There's some like event missions that I have to unfortunately miss out on. In my opinion, again, this is my opinion, I have found that the EHP stats are way more valuable than any of the landmine stuff. That's just my opinion, but take it with a grain of salt. If the landmines did provide any kind of like lifesteal benefit, I think I would have a different sentiment, but because it's basically just damage and I guess you could say crowd control if you have the landmine stun card in, outside of that, they don't really bring much to the table other than robbing me of my valuable EHP stats. So for that reason, I'm still leaving them blank for now. Moving on to the utility upgrades, you can see we have basically a lot of stuff maxed in here, with an exception of like recovery amount, max recovery, but everything in here does get maxed during the run, so it's been okay. I've slowly, as you can kind of tell, been upgrading my enemy attack level skips, but you can see that the coin cost is actually quite excruciating. So for that reason, I'm not really spending too many coins here unless I just have a whole lot and can get like 3 or 4 levels in here. At the point right now where I'm at, the main goal for me is simply raising both my damage and my health. Those two stats alone are truly what is helping me right now. With that, I think I'm actually going to put the rest of these coins here into health. Now that brings our health to 1236. Now let's move on to the ultimate weapons. Alright, so within the ultimate weapons, a lot has been kind of happening here. It has been difficult as these upgrades continue to get more and more expensive. But my primary goal at the moment is simply to try to get a sync with my Death Wave, Golden Tower, and Black Hole. The reason for this is because each of these have a unique coin multiplier attached to them. Trying to get all of these synced up is super valuable. It will go to play towards your coin bonuses as well. And if you're killing enemies within all three of those ultimate weapons, you're making way more coins than if you had them all going off at different times. So that is my primary mission objective at the moment, is simply trying to get all of these synced. I could slot in my Multiverse Nexus and start kind of doing that path and instantly get all of these synced. However, my Multiverse Nexus is currently only Epic, like not even Epic Plus. So for that reason, it doesn't really make sense for me to do this, because the average will actually be higher than what I currently have. So for that reason, I'm just kind of using the Primordial Collapse. It does provide a little bit of decreased damage. Obviously, it's not super valuable for me at the moment because my Black Hole uptime is so little. But as I continue to work on it over time, this module will become a lot more effective for me. But yeah, some of these upgrades are still kind of cheap, so I put a click or two here and there into like Black Hole size, Black Hole duration, Golden Tower duration, and Golden Tower bonus. What I haven't really done is do any of this other stuff. Like, what I have not really done anything to is literally anything in Spotlight. I have not touched it, other than I got one level into the coin bonus lab so I can start getting a bonus from Spotlight. And kind of similar thing with Death Wave. I have not touched damage and I have not touched the quantity. Just because, again, my primary objective at the moment is getting a sync with my current ultimate weapons. Need them to be synced. That is paramount. With that, that's actually going to wrap up the workshop and the ultimate weapons. Let's now discuss the cards. You can see we got a new card slot. That is fantastic. So let's see what our farming setup looks like now. We have coins, enemy balance, critical coin, cash, extra defense, wave skip, wave accelerator, health, berserker, attack speed, and now recovery package chance. This is actually super valuable for me because, again, in the modules, I am currently running a galaxy compressor, which the unique effect completely revolves around the recovery packages. So now with this card equipped, that brings my package chance to over 50%. So in theory, every other wave I would be getting a recovery package, which would reduce all of my ultimate weapon cooldowns, which again would bring more uptime for my coin producing ultimate weapons, which is super valuable. In terms of levels, we do have our first level 6 card, and that is actually health. Health is right there, which is fantastic. In terms of what I've been doing with my cards, we'll kind of talk about that in a moment. We only have one card that we're missing, and I believe it's a nuke. I'm pretty sure it's a nuke. But yeah, things have been going good in the cards department. We're slowly but surely just working on these, trying to get them better. And likewise, try to increase our card slots every couple weeks or so. So we just picked up card slot 11 pretty recently, and that's been fantastic. In terms of the presets I basically have 2 presets that are blank in case I need to try a different strategy or something like that. I obviously have one for my blender farming, and I have one for my tournaments, which has been pretty nice. I also have this little one here that is specifically for events, like if there's a demon mode event or an energy net event. I have this set up here that I can put whatever cards are required for the event and then hopefully get it done. That's actually going to cover it for the cards. Let's discuss the modules. Alright, so in terms of the modules, this is what we got going on. I still have my death penalty in. I don't know why. This is supposed to be an Astral Deliverance. That's kind of been the farming module that I've been using for the meantime. And the main reason for that, frankly, just comes down to the extra bounce shot range that you get. It's increased, and the damage is kind of increased as well, which helps me twofold. First, with crowd control, keeping the enemies away with the extra bounce shot range, but also I get some added lifesteal from that 40% projectile bonus, which is not bad. This module I will likely use for quite a long time until I get closer to like running hybrid or glass cannon, and then in that case, it would make more sense for me to basically swap to this amplifying strike. My generator module, I'm currently running a galaxy compressor. I'm going to try to experiment and see if slotting in something that is legendary will actually be better. But right now, I don't obviously have enough shards to get too much benefit out of that. So for that reason, we're just going to leave in galaxy compressor. I have a hunch that galaxy compressor will be the best for quite a long time. In terms of the armor module, kind of a similar thing here. I'm really considering actually ditching the anti-cube portal altogether and basically merging some of these to get a legendary or a legendary plus. I think if I were able to do that and then roll a legendary defense percentage, that would be super valuable. I think we're actually going to go ahead and try to do that right now. So we'll get a legendary here, and then now we'll get a legendary plus, and there we go. Now we have a legendary plus. So fantastic. I think I'm actually going to slot this in right now, and we're going to use some of these reroll shards to basically just see if we can get a legendary or epic. Frankly, an epic would be okay too, but we're going to try for a legendary defense percentage. Okay, we got a legendary orb speed, which is fine, but I think I'm going to really just try to get that defense percentage first. Ooh, thorn damage. That's actually really good. Oh boy. Okay, so that I don't keep getting sad, I'm actually just going to turn all of these off until we get the legendary defense percentage. I think that's going to be the play. Okay, and just like that, we got it. The 5% defense percentage. So I'm going to go ahead and hit new so that we lock that in. Now what I'm going to do is hit the little lock button here, and we will start to kind of roll for some of this other stuff. So we'll add health regen, we'll add thorns, maybe lifesteal, do orb speed, orbs, and shockwave frequency. Any of those should be good. So we'll go ahead and do some rolling and see if we get lucky. Okay, awesome. We got a legendary thorn percentage. So same kind of thing. We'll hit new. And now what we will do for this last one is basically just try to get something epic or even rare that would be better than defense absolute. See if we can get something here. Wow, okay, we got a lifesteal. So we're going to lock all of that in. Very nice. So this is now going to be our dedicated farming module for the meantime. We may still kind of put anti-cube portal in when we have the tournaments, just so that we can get the extra damage buff, which will then translate to lifesteal. I think that might actually be better than an extra 2% defense. I don't know that for a fact, but we'll have to do some testing. Obviously, today is a tournament stream day, so we'll try to do some testing there and see if it makes any benefit for us. And last but not least, in the core category, basically I've just been, like I mentioned, using the Primordial Collapse. I think currently it's the best option I have. I do have a Dimension Core, but I don't have a Chain Lightning, so this would virtually do nothing for me. So the value I'm currently getting from Primordial Collapse is just really good. I'm getting a lot of damage mitigation. I'm also getting like some extra black hole size. Obviously, it would be great to try to roll for maybe like Golden Tower duration. I think that would be a pretty good thing to do. So we may actually try to roll this with the rest of our things. We'll try like a Death Wave quantity. That would be good. We'll try a Golden Tower duration. That will be good. We don't actually want a Golden Tower cooldown. The reason being is simply because it will throw me out of my sync. So we're going to leave that off for the meantime. We're going to try for a GT duration, maybe a GT bonus. Let's do a black hole size and black hole duration. Maybe a spotlight angle. Why not? Uncheck rare and just see what happens. Okay, GT bonus is there, which I think is better than black hole size. We'll lock that in, and now we'll try for something legendary, hopefully. Actually just uncheck this and see if we can get something legendary. Ooh, okay. Legendary black hole size. I think we're actually going to lock that in. We also have the added Death Wave damage, which will help for building up our Death Wave health during tournaments. So I'll lock that in and we'll see if we can get something else here. Golden Tower duration. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is getting really lucky. So we will lock that in right there. By the way, guys, this is not an accurate representation of how reroll shards go. The higher the rarity module, the harder it is to get some of these stats, just so that you guys know. Now we'll just go ahead and throw in rare and epic and see if we get something just to kind of fill the gap here with the remaining shards that we have. Chain lightning quantity, whatever, we'll take it. Alright, so we'll hit new, that's fine. We don't even have chain lightning, but now we got an extra 2 seconds on our black hole, and an extra 8 meters on our black hole size, which is actually really good. So that brings our black hole size up to 46 meters, which is going to be really good. Alright, and with that, that's actually going to wrap up modules. Let's discuss the labs. Okay, so within the labs, I still have a lot of kind of boring stuff here. Oops, that's supposed to be going. There we go. You can see I still have some kind of boring stuff here that's been here for quite a while, but that is by design. This is with a purpose. So, first and foremost, we have lab speed, which is the most important lab, in my opinion, in this entire game. It's so valuable. Just speeding up the secret currency, again, that nobody talks about, which is time. The amount of time it takes to get all of these other labs done. Lab speed is a must. It's super important. So we're going to keep lab speed in there likely forever, but I don't know, we may take it out here and there if there are more important things to do, like econ things or, I don't know, module labs, something like that. But for the meantime, lab speed is staying right where it's at. Above that, we have attack speed. Attack speed is going to be really good for two primary reasons. It comes back to the crowd control by knocking back the enemies with our knockback, our multi-shot, rapid fire, all of that. And it also will give us a little bit more lifesteal by getting more DPS, damage per second, out to the enemies. So attack speed is actually a super good lab for really any build, but mostly like the blender build, different variations off of the blender build. So attack speed likely will stay in here as well until we get to maybe like level 50. It's going to take quite a long time, but it's going to be worth it in the long run, trust me. Underneath that, in Lab 3, we actually threw in kind of a wild card here. This is Workshop Utility Discount. This will make all of the upgrades in the utility section cheaper. This will be super critical for enemy level skips, getting my enemy attack skips as high as I possibly can. It's going to be really good for that. At some point, I would also like to do the defense lab, the defense upgrade lab. That will also be really good. For now, we're just kind of working on the workshop utility discount. We're going to get it up to like level 25 and then probably slot in something else. Underneath that, lab 4, we have coins per kill bonus. This one I am taking up to level 50, and then I'm going to probably slot in cash bonus until that is level 50. I think that's going to be my current plan. Then last but not least, underneath that, we have reroll shards, level 3. This is going to be helpful for getting the necessary shards to do similar stuff to what we just did. Rolling our modules, getting them optimized. And you guys may notice the kind of theme that I have going on here is that I don't have a theme. I don't have one particular section that I'm working on. I'm not just working on econ. I'm not just working on like damage upgrades. I'm working on a little bit of everything. This is for the sake of balance. Balance is super critical. In terms of my lab history, I'll briefly just kind of show you guys what we've been doing so you can see I'm not just making this up. Attack speed, workshop utility discount, reroll shards, health. I did get level 2 band perks, so I have 2 bands available now, which is actually really good. I also went ahead and unlocked first perk choice. This is a super valuable lab, and we'll talk about this lab in just a moment. We also did some levels in daily mission shards, really good lab, and a few levels into damage, basically just to get a baseline established. Same kind of thing with orb speed. But yeah, you can see the main goal. Every lab that I'm doing has a specific purpose. Package after boss. I am doing this lab for my galaxy compressor. Again, bringing me more uptime on my coin producing ultimate weapons. And with that, that's going to wrap up the labs. Let me go ahead and show you guys the perks so that you guys can kind of see what we got going on there. And then we will talk about the tournaments. Okay, so within the first perk choice, this lab is critical. It's super important. If you are doing a general farming run, you almost 100% certainly will want the perk wave requirement in here, which you can just scroll down until you find it. It's right there. You don't have Golden Tower as an ultimate weapon currently. What you can do with this lab is actually equip the unlock a random ultimate weapon. That will allow you to, in theory, hopefully pull Golden Tower. And if you don't, you can just restart the run. So you do the first 200 waves, you try to get Golden Tower, and if you don't get Golden Tower, you can just restart. And you're not missing out on too much. That is a strategy that a lot of people will do that don't already have Golden Tower. So keep that in mind. But Assuming you do have Golden Tower, or you just don't really want to do that strategy, Perk Wave Requirement is really the best in slot. Now moving on to the bans, let's go ahead and talk about the bans. I have 2 slots available and nothing in it. So we're going to actually put some bans in here, some things that I think would be pretty detrimental to my runs. So what I'm actually going to do first is ban a standard perk. Standard perks are all of these blue ones, then you have the ultimate weapon perks, based on the ultimate weapons that you have, and then last but not least you have the trade-offs. The trade-offs look convincing, but one thing to consider, each of these perks have a different rarity within how frequently they will show up. So the order goes, standard perks are a lot more likely to show up. After that, it is ultimate weapon perks, and then finally trade-off perks. So for that reason, what you want to do is generally try to ban at least 1 standard perk and then probably a trade-off perk. So we'll start with the standard perk here. I think what we will do is simply just ban the interest. Interest is quite literally useless for me. It does virtually nothing. We're going to ban interest. You can get 5 of these, 5 interest perks, versus you can get 1 Golden Tower bonus, you can get 1 of any of these various trade-off perks. So just by banning 1 standard perk, we're going to get a lot higher of a chance that we can get some of this other stuff that we need, such as Perk Wave Requirement, defense percentage, free upgrades, coins bonus, etc. So moving on to the trade-off perks, we will see which one looks the most detrimental to us. I think it's going to be a combination, kind of a tie between enemies have negative health, but tower health regen and lifesteal are 90%. This one 100% is going to be a run killer for me, so I'm going to ban that one. A good other option you could do is like the enemy speed, but enemy's damage trade-off. That one's a good option. But yeah, that is going to be the current ban setup that we have for kind of the meantime. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about the tournaments. Alright, so we are in the tournament screen. We are still in Gold League. Let me just briefly go to the history. You can see we finished last time with a personal best at rank 10. That got us a whopping 28 stones and 100 gems. So the goal is to continue trying to get a little bit better each week until we eventually promote to Platinum, which is where you can really start kind of seeing stone gains. And I know that tournaments can definitely seem pretty upsetting. You can see, like, you'll spend quite a bit of time in each of these different leagues. Like Gold League, I will likely stay here a very, very long time. That is totally okay with me, so long as I am seeing consistent improvement week by week, both my waves and my rank. You have to be kind of careful when you look at this, but the main thing you want to do, if you wanted to kind of visualize it in your brain as like a graph, you would see that it may kind of do like this. It's kind of, you know, it'll go up a little bit, it'll go down, but it's on a consistent uptrend, which is what we want to see. And you can see that right here. The first Gold League tournament, 110 waves. The second, 162, 196, 170, went back down, but then we went into the 200s. And it's just gradually going up until we recently hit our personal best at 436 waves. Similar concept with the rank. The rank is a little bit less consistent because it's simply based on luck of the draw in terms of the players that you are versing in your bracket, but also what battle conditions you have. Some battle conditions are a lot worse than others for certain people. And with that, that's actually going to wrap up the tournaments. Let's briefly touch on the events. Alright, so here we are in the events tab. Like I mentioned, we are not getting anything in the shop. We're not getting the event boosts or anything. The event boosts are really, really good, especially if you're trying to work on your golden bot, but on this account, I am not buying anything, just so that I can hopefully, ideally, give you guys a more raw and true free-to-play kind of experience. That being said, let's check out the events. So there's already one that we can't do, and that is the landmine stun card. Reason being, because we don't have landmines equipped. But I'm fine with that. That's totally fine. Like, we'll be missing out on, what, 45 medals, 35 medals, something like that. And that's totally fine. We are getting to the point pretty quickly, as you can see, where we can finish a lot of these other missions, which is great. We already completed our buy 80 cards mission, which is kind of what I wanted to touch on with the cards. So my current plan with gems, I've touched on it in a previous video, but I'll say it again briefly for those of you that missed it. My plan is to buy my 80 cards and then buy the equivalent of modules. So we have 200 gems here. I believe I have like maybe 6 more 10 pulls that I can do before I'm going to start saving up for the next event. So that is my overall plan with the gem spending. Obviously, if you don't have all 5 labs, you want to try to get your 5th lab as quickly as possible. That's like the first primary goal. But after that, start doing this gem spending strategy. Buy your 80 cards, which is 1600 gems worth, and then buy the equivalent amount of modules, so another 1600 gems. And then after that, what you want to do is start saving up for card slots. Card slots are going to become super important. That is a really good way that you can kind of remain balanced throughout the course of this game between your gem spending. In terms of the event store, I'll show you guys what we got so far. We bought 1 thing of stones, basically just to get us 1 step closer to getting the next click in all of our ultimate weapon cooldowns. Not probably going to buy any shards or anything like that. We might buy some gems if we need to, we'll see. But first thing we did, and first thing we frankly do every single event, is pick up the themes, the tower and the background theme. Give us a coin multiplier. Before we buy those though, we always check the relics and we just make sure that there's not one that says lab speed or coin bonus. If you see one that says either of those, I would probably suggest picking that up first. But so far so good. We've got the spider skin and the cobweb background. And we also got the cobweb relic, which is a tower health relic. Really valuable. We probably will try to go ahead and save up for the fly. I think it'll be valuable for us. I really do. So we're going to save up for that while we're in tier 1. It's going to be valuable. But last thing we really did, we went ahead and picked up the very last song. So we now have all 3 of the coin producing songs. These factor into your coin bonus for the themes. So it goes into that number right there, which obviously increases your total coin bonus number. You can see my coin bonus multiplier in tier 1 currently looks like this, times 17.41. My plan for the rest of the event, we've got 12 days left. I'm probably going to try to do a couple more clicks into Golden Bot range. And then after that, I'm basically just going to start saving up. And I want to make sure that I have about 500 medals at an absolute minimum before the next event rolls over, so that I can instantly pick up these themes. Or like I mentioned, if there's a relic that has coins or lab speed, I can go ahead and pick that. That's been my plan for the events, and it's been working pretty good. That's actually going to cover it for the events. Let's go ahead and talk about the guilds. Alright, shout outs to Towers Anonymous. You guys have been killing it. In terms of the Guardian, we did unlock the summon chip. So I have not really put that much into it because I've needed to save up for this thing right here, the new slot, which we're actually going to pick up right now. So that's awesome. So we got our 2nd slot, and now we can equip the summon chip. My fetch is pretty much optimized for what I need to get my daily medal cap, which is pretty valuable. And from that point on, we're basically going to start trying to reduce this cooldown and then try to up the duration a little bit. That's going to be our main goal in terms of what we're spending our stuff on. So I'm just going to reduce this a little bit and yeah, drop this by a few seconds so that it gets some more uptime. Every one of these enemies that will spawn, it will give us a little bit of a coin boost when those enemies die, which is going to be great. We're not going to really touch the cash bonus, just not concerned with it at all whatsoever. The 2 main stats for summon are going to be cooldown and duration. In terms of the guild store, we have already purchased basically nothing here. We bought this relic here that gives us defense percentage, and the reason I did that was mainly for the sake of the lab for defense percentage. The conventional wisdom for defense percentage was that you would need to get it up to level 23. This would be the minimum required to basically reach the maximum defense percentage, assuming that you have max standard perk bonus lab and an ancestral defense percentage module effect. Now that has changed with this relic. The relic makes it where you now just need level 18 to get that same effect. Obviously, if you already have it at 23, that's totally fine. It will help you in tournaments, but you don't really need to go any higher than level 18, so long as you were able to pick up this relic right here, the Blood Monster. If you miss out on this relic, don't worry, it will come back through the circulation. It'll just maybe take some time. We also went ahead and picked up the Guardianship Summon, as we just kind of previously discussed. And our next goal is going to be getting all of these different multipliers. So we're going to start here with the background, go ahead and unlock that. because the background has the highest coin multiplier. Picked up that. So our next goal will basically be trying to get all of these that give a 0.6 multiplier. That's going to be our goal. Obviously, later on, if we have extra bits to kind of get some of this other stuff, that would be great. But the main focus is going to be getting all of these different coin-producing assets that will aid our theme bonus and get us more coins. Econ truly is the name of the game with the tower idle tower defense, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, with that, that's actually going to wrap up today's episode of the Beginner Progress series. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you guys want to check out the full series, you can see the playlist, which will be linked down in the video description. And that's going to wrap up the video. If you make any purchases for the tower, please consider using my content creator code. If you would like to enter into member exclusive giveaways, feel free to check out the join button on YouTube here. You can join and it will give you access to members only giveaways. And the last way you can really support me is just by continuing to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. I try to put a lot of effort into these videos. I hope that you guys can maybe tell. And lastly, we have a Discord server with 2,500 people in it. We got players of all different experience levels. We have a mentor program. We have lots of helpful tower resources. Lots of players in there that are more than willing to help you out with your tower, myself included. So feel free to join the Discord. Link is down in the video description, and I hope to see you there. And with that, that's going to conclude the contents of today's episode of the Beginner Progress series, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and like always, I will see you guys later.